In this video, I'll be taking a brief look at how the computing landscape has changed since I built my computer back in '92, and afterwards play some games poorly to see how well the hardware is keeping up. Throughout 1993, the focus really shifted to non-clock doubled 486 machines. The clock-doubled variants like the DX266 were still considered excessive for home users, and the 60 and 66 MHz Pentiums that launched in '93 were just obscenely priced. 386s were still available, but the general consensus was to avoid them, unless you needed a simple office machine. As a side note, the Pentium got its name instead of just 586 because numbers were impossible to trademark. Pentium comes from penta, meaning 5. Before the Pentium launched, there was the usual speculation regarding what they were going to be. My favorite nugget of speculation is this guy who suggests there's going to be a Pentium SX, which was speculated to be a Pentium with a narrower bus and a lower clock speed. A budget option, so to say. This, of course, never happened. The FPU, in combination with its superscalar design, meant it was starting to catch up with the low-end RISC processors on the workstation side. One of the magazines I read leading up to this video ran an article in a mid-93 issue talking about speeding up your old machines, calling me out with questions like, "Did you get a 38633 less than a year ago but isn't quite fast enough anymore?" On top of all this, the CD-ROM hype was out of control, but that's for another video. To sum it up, here's how I would rate my computer's performance as built in '92. How did it age for '93? Still hanging on, I'd say. For the games I'll be showing off, I looked at reviews in two Swedish magazines, Attack and Interface. Attack was more of a general PC magazine, with a fair bit of game reviews. Interface was purely a gaming magazine, multi-platform but with a heavy emphasis on PC. As a point of comparison, the Amiga 1200 launched in Sweden during the spring, and console-wise the main competition was the Super NES and the Mega Drive. First up is Prince of Persia 2, a well-received follow-up.
In ancient Persia, there lived a sultan who had an only daughter, whose beauty was like moonrise in a clear heaven. Now it happened that the sultan left his kingdom to fight in a foreign land.
Next up is Pinball Dreams. The Amiga version got rave reviews, but some of the ball physics got lost in the PC port. Still a decent game. Next up is Space Quest 5.
Well, it's either A or E, right?
Next up is Syndicate. Next up is X-Wing. and finally Doom, the only game demanding enough that I really wished I had a 486. But I think that will do for this video. Check back next week when I'll be getting in on the CD-ROM craze like it's 1993. Until then, thank you for watching.